It began on a pitch-black Tuesday night in my cramped apartment, shadowed by flickering neon signs and the hum of the city. My name is Alex Monroe, 27, freelance illustrator, a habitual night owl haunted more by deadlines than nightmares. But around 2:15 a.m., my routine changed forever. Rain ticked against the window. My lamp cast a weak amber halo across sketchbooks littered over the chipped hardwood floor. I glanced up, ready for a midnight snack. When I froze, the shadow beneath my desk was rippling, although nothing in the room had moved. I blinked, rubbed tired eyes. The black patch stretched wider, its edges wavering like oil in water. Beside the bed, the tall silhouette thrown by my coat rack bent inward, as if something was pushing out from inside. The rumble of distant thunder drowned out my heartbeat. My skin prickled when the closet shadow detached from the wall, gliding an inch toward me. I rose, both fascinated and terrified. The room remained silent except for the relentless tap of rain outside and the mechanical whir of my fan. I reached for my phone to record, but every shadow spun violently. The one beneath my dresser seemed to reach. I stumbled backward, breath caught, and yanked the lamp's plug. Darkness swamped the room. Within that void, the real shapes emerged, shadows that walked, hunched and stretching, clustering into corners. I heard a whisper, low as a static hiss. "Come closer, Alex. Let us show you what lies beneath." Paralyzed, I watched as the shadows converged into a rough humanoid figure, jittering at the edges. It mimicked my movements, tilting its invisible head, twitching as I swallowed hard. I flicked my phone's flashlight on, heart thrashing, but the figure retreated, melting into the corners, never vanishing fully. I rushed for the door. My hand trembled over the knob. Something cold pressed against my back, a shadow hand, impossibly flat yet somehow weighted. "Don't go. Stay with us where the light won't reach." The whisper was everywhere, from the closet's black mouth to the space under my bed. Desperate, I flung open the door and staggered into the lit hallway. Light puddled across ancient carpet. The shadows retreated instantly. My mind spun with memory, with dread. I could not sleep. Near dawn, brave enough to risk a glance inside, I found nothing but ordinary darkness and clutter. But now, whenever night comes, I sense those rippling shapes just beyond the light. I dare not let my lamp flicker. I dare not let a shadow fall across my bed. Because if I do, I might finally see what the darkness is truly made of, and I know it's been waiting for me to look. Now its second story. I thought it was a dream until I woke up screaming. Pitch black night pressed against the windows of the small, rented cottage deep in the pine woods. Mika had come for solitude, to put distance between herself and city noise, hoping the wild silence might drown the anxieties clawing at her thoughts. She'd heard stories from the town, old tales about vanishing hikers, and the woods swallowing people whole, but dismissed them as superstition. She awoke at 2:47 a.m. to a thin, high whistling, persistent as her own heartbeat. The world outside seemed frozen. Even the pines stood in rigid alignment, as if straining to listen. Her phone displayed the time unchanged, blinking 2:47 again and again. She closed her eyes, certain it was just a nightmare. But the whistling grew louder. Shadows in her bedroom stretched and undulated, pooling by the door, weaving themselves into tall silhouettes that seemed neither fully human nor entirely alien. Mika lay paralyzed. Cold seeped from the walls, the tang of pine needles mingling with something dank, decayed. Then, a voice rasped from the shadow at her door. "You found the boundary. That was not meant." Suddenly, she remembered the local legend, the boundary in the forest, where reality thinned. She'd wandered off trail yesterday, remembering the silvery mist, the standing stones carved with symbols that looked strangely mechanical, out of time. The voice became more insistent. "Awake or asleep, the boundary binds." Mika tried to scream, but her voice was trapped in her throat. as if the air itself thickened. The world split, the cottage dissolved, replaced by endless trees, clockwork moonlight ticking through the branches. The shadow figures pressed close, their faces shifting, blinking with pale blue lights. Mika understood. The cottage was a simulation, the woods a clockwork labyrinth. She was trapped inside something built long before her arrival, something ancient, yet eerily retro-futuristic. The shadows hummed in chorus. Dream inside dream, rule inside rule. Scream and reset. She did scream, at last, the sound swallowed by gears grinding through the world. She snapped awake, alone in her bed, just as before. It was 2:47 a.m. Shadows trembled at her door. The whistling began anew. Only this time, she knew she would never truly wake up again.